everybody, this is Tiffany with Team 300. Today I get to share with you the Peplum Punk. The Peplum Punk is going to be the short, fun, convertible rock and roll version of the Peplum, this season's haircut. The tools that we're going to need today are clippers, a clipper comb, a standard cutting comb, your shears, a razor, your clips, and a water bottle. And now we're going to start the sectioning for the Peplum Punk. Our first section is this large section here, section 1, the back of the head, below the crown and above the nape. Our next section is section 2. Section 2 is going to be above the nape, about 2 inches. Our next section is section 3. It's going to be right side. Section 4 is going to be left side. Section 5 is going to be top of the head, above the parietal ridge, and we have that in 7 subsections. You can actually see this spoken a little bit more in depth in the Peplum medium cut. Here's a 3D version of our sectioning. We have our large section 1, nape section 2, section 3, section 4, and section 5. 5, of course, being the top of the head above the parietal ridge. This is broken into 8 subsections. However, if you count, it may look like 7, and it is 7 because we've actually gathered the fringe together. We'll start our haircut when we go to the top of the section. That will be subsection 1. Okay, everybody, don't be scared. This is a clipper cut for women. We're going there. I'm starting on my right side with my clipper comb. I'm cutting it down to 1 inch, clipper over comb. Don't be afraid. Go in there and just get it. Next section. I'm standing right in front of the section that I'm going to cut. Comb in, previous cut guide, cut. Go in, take it off. Don't be scared, go short. Next section, standing in front of my previous cut guide or previous cut section. I am standing right in front of the section that I'm going to cut. I'm looking for some of that previous cut section. I'm going to actually stand a little bit out of the way so you guys can see. Previous cut section, clipper over comb. See how that fell out? I love that. I like that short piece. I want to cut that. Previous section, clipper over comb. If you end up with a few little strays, that's fine because we're going to blend those guys in when we go to section 2. I'm going to go ahead and turn the mannequin. Normally behind the chair, I would still just have my client facing the mirror and I would move around them. But I want to make sure that you guys can see. Comb in, previous cut section, take it off, take it off. Previous cut section, standing in front of the section I'm going to cut. There we go. We're going to take our middle section, comb in. We're going to elevate this guy to about just where we're starting to see a little guide. Just where we're starting to see some of that short hair peeking out, so that's just about at the occipital. Okay, horizontal cut. I'm going to go ahead and turn this so you can see. We're now going to do right side. Comb in, elevation, diagonal. I'm going to go ahead and comb again because I lost my guide. I'm cutting to the previously cut section. There's our short, there's our long. Gone. Okay, other side. I'm going to stay on this side so you can see. Comb in. It's a little dry for my taste. I'm going to spritz it just a bit. Just spritzing it to keep control. Comb in. Okay. Elevated, previous cut section. There we go. Now what this is doing, this is allowing us to keep a little bit of the length in her neck, because this is a clipper cut, but it's for a woman. So we have a little bit of a masculine edge here, which is really in trend right now. But again, it being for a woman, we still want to keep it kind of soft. It's even just a little bit of a safety zone, because at the end you can detail it if you want to. But all of those maneuvers actually allow us to still blend and connect this very, very short masculine first section into a little bit of a softer second section. I'm now at section 3. I'm going to go ahead and comb to previously cut section, and distance equals length. So this is over directed back. I'm going to look for some of that previously cut section. Comb it again. Yeah, previously clippered area. There we go. That looks great. And cut. Have a little stray in there. I'm going to go in and get that. By doing that, we're allowing for length around her face, but there's still blend and connection. We're going to do section 4 just like this one. So now we're working on the top of the head. Our elevation is going to be 90 degrees from the plane that I'm working on. This is subsection 1. Your fingers are going to be 45 degrees out. What that means is it's out from the head form, out from the client. The tips of your fingers are going to point towards you. I'm going to take a little bit of my guide from the bottom. If that falls out, that's okay. I just need it to see where I'm going. Again, fingers, 45 degrees, out. Cut. Okay? If you're afraid that you're going to cut yourself, then just move that hair out. Keep a little skosh, little bit for your guide. There's my guide. I'm going to flip my fingers again so I can cut. And there's my guide. Cut. That's going to be the first piece of our peplum. This is our first section in the peplum. Since my fingers are 45 degrees out from the head form, it's going to allow for a fall that is longer on the top and a little shorter on the bottom. Section 2. My finger position is now going to be 45 degrees in. I'm going to use a little bit of guide from my previous cut section. Make sure I can see my guide. There it is. In. Okay, I'm going to scoop that out because I don't want to cut myself. Comb. Make sure I'm using the same tension. There's my guide. Cutting palm to palm. In our first section, I held my fingers at a 45 out. In this next section, I held my fingers at a 45 in. With 45 in, we have a little bit shorter on the top, a little bit longer on the bottom. We're going to begin to see our peplum. Maintain a nice clean section so I can see what I'm doing. Fingers. I really love this part of palm to palm because I feel like I can really see what I'm doing. Previous cut section. And I want to make sure that you can see. I'm going to lift my arm up and make sure you guys can see it. Previous cut section. And now I'm going to continue the rest of the head working with my 45 degree in and out finger position. Earlier, we spoke about the fringe. The fringe is two sections that has been condensed into one section. What I'm going to do is over direct this whole section right. I'm going to use a piece of my previously cut top as my guide. Let me turn so you guys can see. The piece that I'm choosing is from the top, back, right corner. Top, back, right corner. I'm going to flip this up with my shears just so I can find my guide. There we go. Can you see that little piece under there? There's my guide. Let me show you again. Little piece sticking out, that's my guide. I'm going to go ahead and cut this palm to palm. Since I brought everything back to the right corner, it's to be styled opposite. I'm going to comb it all to the left front. There's our finish. One cut. So my gal started getting dry in a couple spots. I'm going to go ahead and dampen it all down. And now you can come in and do your detail work with your razor. A lot of these techniques are condensed cutting, and since that does graduation and texture all in one, I don't feel like it needs a whole lot of cleanup, but mostly I think for my clipper work I have some strays. Those are the ones I'm going to go in and get. A little shaping here in the front, just for fun. Here's a stray. We talked about that back earlier. See where you see it flicking out? Let's accentuate that a little bit. What we're starting to get here, you can see it drying a little bit, it's still pretty damp. Our peplum, up and down flow, falls over our rocked out clippered short area. And then it flows back over into more piecey softness. So this is a short version of the peplum punk. The peplum punk can be styled quite a few ways. There's a lot of versatility. If we flick up our peplum top, you can really expose all this clippered undercut for a little more edge. If you style it back, you get a little bit more of a classic look, something just a little softer. When you see the peplum punk haircut that we do the color on, you'll see a version that's just a little bit longer. So let's get her some color, let's get her styled, and peplum out.